Everyone, 3 I'll be reviewing Spider-Man No Way Home, starring Tom Holland, Zendaya, and this movie is directed by John Watts. I am a huge fan of Spider-Man character in general. Like, I loved all of the Spider-Man. Many people, like last month or so many comment people ask me, who is your favorite Spider-Man? Is it Tobey Maguire, Andrew Garfield, or Tom Holland? Because some people do have their preference, who they like most. Me personally, I loved all the Spider-Man movie. Like, they are so good, honestly. The first one, the Spider-Man trilogy, the Sam Raimi one, I will say they are my favorite in general. In the comic book movie wise, I really loved those 3 movies more than anything. I've seen those movies 1,000 times. Great power comes with great responsibility. So for me, I cannot pick any of this because Tom Holland, he's also so good, honestly. He done an awesome job every time on screen. Like, I really like him. He might not have been in great Spider-Man movie like the Sam Raimi's one, but he's so good. He done really awesome job. Also Andrew Garfield. Andrew Garfield is also my favorite Spider-Man as well. Although I might not have liked him as a Peter Parker, but I really loved him in Spider-Man, like as a Spider-Man. So I really liked the first Amazing Spider-Man movie. That movie was very good, very different from the other movie out there. Also, it's Amazing Spider-Man 2. I don't hate that movie like some people. I actually find that movie, some of the stuff very interesting in that movie. So, at this point, I'm just going to mention this review is going to be with spoiler. And I really love this movie so much. Watching this movie, like, I cried so many times, And this movie, I was like, oh my God, why I'm crying? Every time this character, they showed up. So, spoiler for me here on. So, the minute Tobey Maguire, he showed up in this movie, I was in tear. I was really, I was so excited and tear. Thinking about it making me tear. It's so awesome. And also when Andrew Garfield, he showed up, it was so happy moment for me. I was like, oh my God, it was amazing. So this movie was amazing. Yeah, if you want to pick some stuff in this movie, you could pick some of the stuff like how some of these people has power or don't have power. Like if you can sit there and pick this stuff but for me, I was really shocked how much I enjoyed this movie, especially if you don't know anything about this movie and go and watch this movie. You are like, oh my God, it's so good. Especially all the conversation between these 3 Spider-Man they had with each other, it was really good. One thing I would say about this movie, I wish the scene, MJ falling from the thing, it wasn't in the trailer. I really wish that, because when you watch in the movie, you're like, oh, that Andrew Garfield is gonna save her because you have seen it in the trailer. I wish it wasn't in the trailer. Personally, when I was watching it, I was, but still, when they show up in this movie, the way they show up casually, I was like, oh my God. For some reason, Andrew Garfield, he was really funny in this movie. I was like, oh my God, he's so funny. Some of the joke he was saying in this movie, because in Amazing Spider-Man, Andrew Garfield, he wasn't his character wasn't funny or cracking joke. Those are Sony movie. But he's here in a Marvel movie. He was cracking all the thing in this movie. I was like, he really acted the way he should be, because he's kind of like middle Spider-Man in this movie. And the older Spider-Man is Tobey Maguire. So I really loved the way Tobey Maguire, he act in this movie, because he is more... When you see him, you can see he got a little old. Also, his character is also old. This Spider-Man has been around a long time. He had fight all this villain. And one time in the movie, he was talking about Venom. I was like, oh my God. It was so cool. It was quickly brushed off, but he was talking about it. And I was like, oh, I really like the way... Peter, I guess his Peter one, the way he acted, because he's a little bit older, the way he was acting, and he has a back pain in this movie. I was like, oh, so accurate, so good. That means the only thing I still don't like in this movie, I guess, the way MJ, she act in this movie. Why is her character, she could talk to people that way? Oh, okay. In real person, Zendaya, she's such a charming person. in this world, she's not allowed to be charming. The way she talked to people, I'm like cracking all this like a snarky joke. I don't get it, her character, the way it's written. Still, I don't like that. I don't know. They are not able to get all this character, like MJ character, right for some reason. But still, I liked Tom Holland story arc in this. Of course, it's really sad when Aunt May, she died. I was like, oh my god. And in that moment, the way Peter, like, he acted, oh, it was, like, really matured. And I'm like, ooh, he's like, oh, go away from my world. I cannot handle your stress anymore. It was so good, honestly, the way whole movie was done. Let's talk about the last act. The last act was, oh, amazing. Especially that moment when Peter was almost gonna kill Green Goblin, and then Tobey Maguire Spider-Man comes and stop him again. Oh, so good, well done. I was in tears, honestly. Like when he stopped him, I was like, oh my god. This movie is really emotional when you watch it. There's so many jokes, but still this movie nailed all the emotional scene. When you watch it, you're like, oh my god, it's so good. Again, end of this like review, if I like someone asks me again who's your favorite Spider-Man, still I cannot pick. These three Spider-Man equally, they're amazing. And some people who might not have loved Andrew Garfield as the Peter, I thought he was really good in this movie. Especially Andrew Garfield, he looked really good in this movie. Like he's because he's a little bit older than this Peter, but he's not as old as Tobey Maguire. The way he acted, I was like, really nailed it. That's why this movie is like, I have no bad things to say about this movie. As I was saying, only the MJ character, the way they write her character is like really, like, I don't get it. Why they're writing her like that? She could have been more charming, but I guess she's not allowed to be in this movie. I don't get it. Why? Jen there, she's such a charming person in real life, but she's not allowed. I mean, sir, I really like the last act in this movie, the way what they were doing. They try to redeem all the villain in this movie. Of course, I love Doc Ock, but I also loved all the like the villain, their conversation with each other. Especially, I'm glad that Jamie Foxx, he was back in this movie, and because Jamie Foxx is such an amazing actor, but he's even more amazing in real person. So I was really glad that he's back in this movie. He got to redeem himself. The way he acted, really like Doc Ock was so good. And Green Goblin, he stayed true to his character. And Green Goblin, it was so good. I really liked all of the villain. My favorite is, of course, Doc Ock, because, you know, him. Overall, this movie was absolutely amazing. Let me know in the comment, what did you like about this movie, what you did not. I imagine many people don't have anything bad about this movie to say. I really have good time watching it. Anyway, that was my thought on this movie. Let me know in the comment, and if you enjoyed my review, don't forget to check out my other reviews on other movie. And if you enjoyed, please subscribe, and please take care.